Good afternoon, Code Simplifiers tribes. Behzad is here with another simple programming video for beginners. In today's video, we are going to develop our program and giving more features to our program. In today's video, we are going to cover these three things you see on the screen. First, we are going to understand what is a variable. Then we are going to getting the password length from the user, and we are going to check the password length which user enters through the system, and we're going to check it against our required length. What is variable? In a very technical word, a variable is a data container which can make and hold a specific data in it, and we can use that variable which we created over and over again in our programs. The one benefit of the variable which make it very handy is if you need to do any changes in your variable you created in previous program, all you have to do is just go into one place and apply the changes in one place, which that makes your workflow easier, and it helps you to prevent any error which we may cause during developing your program. And if I'm going to give you a real life example, imagine you store a coffee beans in a jar. And after using the coffee, you refill the jar with sugar, and you just keep going and filling the jar with different items in it. In contrast, the jar is a variable because it holds different type of item in it or different type of food. So you always imagine variable as a container which you can put different foods in it. So obviously when it comes to programming, you have to be mindful because variable, it could be different. It could be a string, it could be number, it could be float, it could be any different. But in contrast, or in very general explanation, it is a container or it is a jar. So let's get into our business and develop our program. Here I open up my PyCharm and I have my project ready to go. So you got two choices. One is you can develop or update your program based on what you got right here in front of you, or you can create a new folder which you can start everything over and having an update and basically just keeping updating a new version of your program. So it is your choice, but I will prefer to just add up a new project folder or a project files to just make sure I can see the progression of my work. So to doing that, so if you want to just keep working on the current file, that is absolutely fine. But for those who want to just keep going and see the progression, I will show you how to create a folder. Come to your project on top left corner, expand your folder, and here is a virtual environment or part 2, which I've already separated the projects. So it doesn't matter if you have your current folder, which that is absolutely fine. Just right click, click on new, then you will come down here and you choose a Python file because we want to write our program in Python. Just click on Python, here asks you for the name. So I just follow the current name which I got. I just put it as PasswordChecker3 and click enter. Our new file is ready to go, and we are going to write our codes inside these new files. You got two options here. The option one is you can copy the codes from our previous folder, bring it here and paste it, which I wouldn't recommend it for one reason. And the main reason is the more you're typing in and the more you're seeing your codes or reading it, it will be highly chance to remember it and learn from your mistakes. So that's why I don't recommend to just copy your codes. Just write the codes. It will be a little bit extra work, but in a long run, you will be more comfortable with writing codes. In case if there is an error, it will be easier for you to understand what is going on and you can resolve your problems. So we're starting off with running our codes. As per usual, we are going to ask the user to enter some information, and we are going to use input and enter the password. Here we are going to check. By the way, the program I'm going to develop right now, it will give us an error, and I will going to explain the errors and what are they, what happened to them, and how we can resolve them. In other words, how you can just get away from them. So we are going to check if the password length is greater than 10 or is less than 6. So that's why we need to check if condition comes along. If password is less than 6 or password is greater than 10, we are going to tell the user that no, just we want to check it, this very simple message. Else So let's run the program, see what comes up. So hold on to Shift F10, enters the password 12345678, and it says no, because the password is not in that range. That's what it says no. So we know what the issues are. Now let's tackle them together. So delete everything you got here. Delete the integer here. So what are they and why did I write them down? So basically they are constraints variable, which the value won't be changed during using the programs. And again, don't worry, we will just get around them and I will tell you what will happen if you're not creating those variables. Here, because we created a min password length and max password length to check the password entered by the user, if we are going to use those variables again against the entry of the user, again we will have the same issue. So there is a way to get around it by creating a variable, which we need to create another container based on the password to just hold on our password and give us a length for it. So we are coming down here, we just write down a password underscore length equals to length and password. So what does that mean? I built another jar or a container to hold on some extra information to it. And what kind of information is going to be in this password length or this variable is the length of the password. And the length of the password counts the characters in user enters and give us a value in it. For example, let's say a password which is PWD, it gives us 3, which it gives us 3 characters. It doesn't read it as a string. Or if you put just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it gives you 6 and doesn't read the numbers. That's why we need to get the length of the password and put it in a variable. Now we're coming down here, we write down if the password length is less than min password length, or password length again is greater than max, then give us an error. So in the first line, we check if the password is between 6 characters to 10 characters. If it is, we are just going to, if it's not, sorry, the message it gives us is out of the range. So it's minimum than 6 and is greater than 10. If that condition is not true, that means the message or the length of the password, it is okay, between 6 characters to 10 characters. And here we check the condition. And the last step, it will be to just print out the message. Either will be out of range or it is okay. So now we check the numbers and we know it works. Now let's check the characters or the number or letters which the user is going to put. I'm just going to put ASD is out of range. You see, it works. It doesn't care if the input information is character or is number. So now we're going to check a mix of 2. And it is okay. Basically, it checks and counts the length of the character entered by the user. So now we run our program, everything works fine, and now we know why we have to use constraint variables and what we have to do. So let's delete some of our work and just make it more properly working. So basically in here, we have to just check if the password length meets our requirements, and then we have to check later on if the password contains letters only or numbers only, just based on the last project we've done. So I just quickly delete here, and we have the password. The user enters the password. We created this variable which count the length of the password entered by user. Here I'm going to introduce you, what I've done, I've deleted here. So I'm going to introduce you a new condition way which you can just go through a loop, or basically just repeating something to just make sure one condition is correct, and that is a while loop. I'll write down the code and then I will explain it to you what I've done and what that is going to do. So what is going on here? The while loop is going through some condition, which in our case is the length of our password. And it is keep repeating the same scenario over and over again unless the condition which we declare here, it is not true. In our case, we're going to check if it is true, do this. So we check here if the user enters a password and the length of that password is less than 6, which we declare it here, or check it if that password length is greater than 10. And if that condition is true, we are going to tell the user what is going on. The password must be between 6 to 10 characters. Sorry, I have to just forgot one thing here, and that is the input. You just cut it. And as you see here, I changed the string because you want to let the user know what is going on. And why did I just put the password length again here? Because we are going to check this condition one more time. And this is a loop. That means it repeats over and over and over again until this condition it is not true. So here we check the password length. And down here, once we check the password length, it is time to check if it contains letters only or numbers only. So here we're checking our password is, sorry, I have to just write down if password, which what the user is going to enter is alpha. The message is going to be and we come down here, then we are going to print password length. We're going to show the user what is the length of the password which they enter. Then we are going to print the message which is checking these 3 conditions here. So our program is ready. Let's run it to see what is the outcome, to see what it gives us. So we're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So basically now it should run and go through everything, and just it has to give us this message. Contains numbers only. As you see, I changed the variable in one place, and it doesn't matter how many times I'm going to use this variable. It just, if I have to update it, I have to come to one place and do the changes in one place only. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any question, any idea, or any feedback, please make sure you write it down in the comment section below. And last thing last, if you are new to this channel and you haven't seen my videos yet, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, put the ring bell's notification on, which so you won't miss any upcoming weekly videos. Thank you for your time and watching. I will see you all next week.